Hey everyone, Mrs. Guerrero here. On to page 22 in our interactive notebook. The name of this page is Graphing Ordered Pairs on page 22. So go ahead and make sure you put that date in addition to the page and title. And the two foldables that you are collecting for this particular page is the foldable that has a large X and Y on it at opposite sides, as well as the foldable that has the arrows right, up, down, left, etc. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our foldable. We're going to start with our one that says the X and Y. And you are going to have the X and Y away from you. So the side that you are looking at is the blank side. And what you're going to do to fold this foldable is on these lines that are printed right here, you're just going to go ahead and fold in the X right on that line. Okay? And then you're going to do the same thing for Y. Fold it right in. So you're creating a little booklet with your X and Y that should open up. Because when we write an ordered pair, the X always goes first and the Y goes second. Well, what are we going to put on the inside of this? That's where your second foldable comes in. Now, your second foldable, you'll notice, has some dotted lines on it. See the dotted lines? You are going to cut the paper up to those dotted lines. So you're going to just cut right through up to the dotted lines. So you may need scissors. You could possibly rip it. If you don't have scissors with you, you can do this at home with a pair of scissors. So you're just going to cut right up to the solid line. No more. Only cutting the dotted line. Okay? Now, it doesn't matter what side you're looking at. Both sides have dotted lines. Okay? And you're just cutting. Because you want these flaps to be open. Now, how are we going to fold this? You want to be looking at the side that has the arrows on it. The side that has the arrows on it, you're going to take those outside flaps and fold them in. So that same thing that we just did before, where we folded the left, the X side in, and then we folded the Y flap in, that's what we're doing here, except we separated them into now two little flaps on each side as compared to one big flap on each side. So all I'm doing is just folding the pages in. I know it's difficult for you to see, but all I did was I just folded them in because now I have my little booklet. Okay? So how do we tape this information in? Well, this particular foldable is going to go inside the other foldable that we just had. So I'm just going to slip it right in. There it is. Okay. From there, we're going to go ahead and tape the two foldables in. So I'm going to probably start with just taping down the XY. So I'm going to tape down this foldable. So how am I going to do that? So I'm going to take page 22 and I'm going to tape the top right here. I'm going to tape the top and I'm going to tape the bottom of this because I want them to stay. So I'm just taping the top and I'll show you in a moment where I'm putting those two pieces of tape. So I put tape at the top. Right here is where I put a piece of tape and right here. Okay, now don't worry about what's written underneath. I'm going to get there. But go ahead and pause the video at this point if you want to go ahead and tape in your X and Y one. Now, once X and Y have been taped in, you're going to do the same with your up, down, your arrowed one. Okay? So all of your flaps should be folding in to hide what's underneath. So once you have that, open up the flaps on the X and Y, and you're going to tape the new one right down. Now, if you tape with all the flaps down, you're not going to be able to open. So you're going to want to open all those flaps up. Once again, open all the flaps, and we're going to put a piece of tape at the top and a piece of tape at the bottom. So once this is taped in, we can review it. Okay. Now, I did a lot of the legwork for you in terms of the notes for graphing ordered pairs, but let's just review. When you graph an ordered pair, it looks like this, X and Y, right? That's what an ordered pair looks like. Well, what is the X? How do I know where to put the X in an ordered pair? Well, if X is positive, I am going to go to the right on the number line. But if x is negative, I'm going to go to the left on the number line. Well, what about y? Well, the y's travel up and down. So if y is positive, we're going to travel up, and if y is negative, we're going to travel down. So what's written down at the bottom here is a couple of reminders. So at this point in time, you should have already taped in your two foldables, and I'm going to go ahead and push this a little closer to the screen, and you can pause here. So what is on the screen here? Well, there's two things. First off, the thing that we want to keep in mind is always start at the origin. Okay? That's wherever we start at the origin. The second thing that's written here is that if x is 0, then our graph is going to be on the y-axis. But if y is 0, our graph is going to be on the x-axis. Those are just little helpful hints. Go ahead and pause the video now if you don't already have this written down. Those are just going to be some helpful hints as we go along. So in terms of graphing ordered pairs, that should be already something that you have knowledge on. We're just reviewing it and we're putting it into our notebook. Okay? So join us on page 23 for our next component.